Hey, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cease, and I wanted to give a few tips for you ladies who are on bed rest. If you don't know my story, I was diagnosed with incompetent cervix at week 20 of my pregnancy. At week 21, I had an emergency cerclage placed and was on modified bed rest for the remainder of my pregnancy. I got my cerclage taken out at week 35, so that's when my doctor said I could kind of resume normal life, and had my son at week 37. So when I found out I was pregnant, I thought I was going to be this like fitness, I'm here in my like downstairs workout space, this fitness chick that was going to motivate people to not make excuses even if you're growing a human. And then I was told to be on bed rest. That was really hard for me because I know how important it is to move your body, and body in motion stays in motion. I worked in health and fitness for 6 years. I'm a health and fitness coach, and I just cringe when people give me excuses as to why they can't exercise. And now that was my reality. So I had a really hard time with bed rest, and if I can give you guys any sort of tips to help you through it, I'll be really happy. And I know it's such a hard thing to do. It's such a hard time to go through. There's so much on your mind. You have so much time to think and worry about things, but I hope these tips help you. So tip number 1 is purchase something that will comfort you. And this was mine. This is a little blanket. I ordered it before I was put on bed rest. I ordered it off Etsy randomly for our little baby boy, and it arrived at our house the day that I came home from having my cerclage. I snuggled this blanket every day until my son was born. It stayed with me. I cried into it when I was having really tough days. And I know that when, you are so worried, whether it's incompetent cervix or something else, you're worried about your pregnancy and all the things that could go wrong. It's so hard to buy things because you don't want to jinx it, right? You don't want to jinx it. But purchase something that you can hold close to your heart, to remember to keep strong and have faith, and that this hard time is hard to go through. I won't say it's easy, but just something to hold on to and remind you that it's going to be okay, and that there can be a happy ending for you. My second thing that really helped me was this, and it's just a basic little journal. And I didn't journal from the standpoint of writing how I felt. I did write about how I felt, but I always thought of this journal as my son reading it in the future. So I wanted to write it in the aspect of letters to him, and that he is truly a miracle, and just things that were on my mind, like June 17th, I wrote, "Set big goals, son. Don't give up on them because challenge and obstacles are to be expected. When you achieve those goals, use the outcomes for God's glory and goodness. If it is monetary, be generous. If it is service, give it your all. While I was pregnant with you, I listened to Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw, a verse that says," and I just wrote this as something positive for him, that this was a really hard time in my life, and the struggle was worth it, and that if he is ever faced with a big obstacle, then he can get through it too. So it's journaling, but not in the aspect of this is how I feel today, because I started journaling like that and I was just like negative all the time. It made me more depressed, and so that journaling really has helped me. Obviously things like Netflix, get into a Netflix series, ask your friends on Facebook for a Netflix series to get into. Try to enjoy the rest. You know, I kind of said all through my bed rest that I'm gonna enjoy this rest. I'm gonna be the most rested mama, so when this baby comes, I'm ready for it, you know, because when the baby does come, you are giving everything to that baby, every ounce of energy that you have. So as hard as it is, try to enjoy the rest. And, you know, try to get outside if you can. My husband bought a really awesome chair from Costco. It's one of those like zero gravity lounging chairs. Not zero gravity, I don't know. It's a really nice lounging chair, and I spent all summer out there in the mornings before it got too hot, just relaxing and reading and watching my dog play in the yard, and that really helped. Trying to get into somewhat of a routine helped me because I'm a routine person. Like I said, I woke up in the morning and went outside and read my personal development, a positive uplifting book, and then I'd go inside and play with my dog for a little bit. Basically, I just sat on the couch and petted him, and then I'd have something to eat, watch some shows, work a little bit, and I just had a little bit of routine, and that helped me. But then here is my last and biggest tip. I hope you guys stayed till the end. My biggest tip for those of you on bed rest is when you are feeling down, think of the future and visualize what you are looking forward to. I really thought about what I wanted life to be like with my son when he was 1 year old, 5 years old, 10 years old. Like, I visualized going to his baseball games. I visualized bringing him to the beach and hanging out with him there. I visualized, you know, where we're gonna be moving to, teaching him how to ride a bike and sledding in the winter time. And I really spent a lot of time in that visualization, meditation state, and that kept me positive, because I know right now in the moment it is scary. You have a lot of fears. If you can turn that fear into faith, though, you guys, it is going to help you so much. And how do you turn fear into faith? Visualizing it, making that thought a reality in your mind. And those are my tips for you. You know, I wanted to give some tips that are beyond the typical, like, get into movies, get into this, you know, like, it's really hard. I understand modified bed rest is also different than if you are hospital bed rest or strict bed rest, but I wish you the best. Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear, you know, your stories, get to know you. I've met so many of you on here through YouTube that have, you know, incompetent cervix, and we are supporting each other. You know, many of you message me all the time. Shout out to Elise, you know, like, Elise, you've got to be close to 30 weeks, right? I really love supporting others that have gone through or are going through what I did. And you know what? Someday in the future, when we have another baby, I'm going to be looking for that support too, and I know that you guys will be there for me, and I really appreciate that. Sending you lots of love and joy during this time, even if it is really hard to understand the circumstances that you're in. I pray for you and I wish you the best. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you want to see more sit down. I'm kind of making vlogs and doing sit down type of videos, even though my backgrounds aren't super fancy, but I'm just real and here to chat with you guys.